Welcome to Story Scaling by podcastvideos.com, where creators share the truth behind the content, the grind, and the growth. Hello, friends. We are at Podcast Movement. I am Bang of podcastvideos.com, and I'm here with none other than
Ilona Anderson with Carpe Diem Law Firm.
Ilona, let's talk legal.
Let's talk legal.
So you are here as give me the entire scope of what it is that you do.
Sure. So I'm here in a dual role. One is to promote my legal services for entrepreneurs. So I'm a trademark, contract, and employment law attorney. I help founders protect their brands through federal trademark registration, get compliant with their teams in terms of employment law, properly paying, classifying their employees, and also make sure they have their contracts in place.
Yep.
And the second role that brings me to podcast movement is the fact that I recently launched the podcast.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting. It's been a long time dream of mine, and that's finally come into fruition. And what I do is I interview founders with compelling stories and really looking to connect with people that are doing well by doing good.
Sure.
So I call it the podcast for conscious founders.
I like that. People who are doing well by doing good. That's good.
Yeah.
You said most lawsuits or any of that type of thing is preventable. Explain that. What do you mean by that?
So oftentimes people don't come to see me, or that's what most lawyers will tell you. Most clients come to see a lawyer after there's already been a problem, right? They've been served with a lawsuit, they received a cease and desist notice, or somebody filed a charge of discrimination against them.
Sure.
And having done plaintiff's work, for many years, and having been a litigation attorney for 19 years, I've realized how many lawsuits can really be prevented if the business arms themselves, or entrepreneur or individual, right? If they arm themselves with the right attorney, partner up with the right attorney to begin with. Like, for example, let's say trademarks. I would say probably half of the phone calls I get are from people that are running established businesses who never really considered trademarking it until, or maybe they've considered it, but they thought, you know what, I'm going to trademark it when it's bigger. I'm going to trademark it when money is not an issue. Let me get established first, and once I'm established, I'm going to trademark it. And then once we actually do a comprehensive clearance search, we realize that their name is not available. It either cannot be trademarked because it's the same or very similar to another existing brand, or because it's so generic or descriptive that it does not comply with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office's guidelines for what could be trademarked. And then they have to rebrand. Or worse yet, they could be receiving a cease and desist letter from another brand. And so the cost of rebranding is about, on average, $30,000. The cost of defending yourself against an infringement lawsuit is in the six figures, versus the cost of a trademark is a couple $1,000s. So, preventative lawyering.
Yeah. Wow. I just got to let that sit for a second, because it's expensive to not do your due diligence is what I'm hearing.
It's expensive not to do your diligence, and I see it on the employment law side as well, because before I started providing employment law services to entrepreneurs, I spent 12 years representing employees.
Oh, wow.
So it kind of gave me insider knowledge as to why employees sue their employers. And while I know that there's some businesses that are intentionally violating the laws, I really believe it's the minority. Most business owners want to be compliant, but employment law is very nuanced. So there's a lot of kind of gray areas, bad information out there. How do I properly classify my employees versus independent contractors, right? There's a lot of misclassification lawsuits. How do I calculate overtime? Who is entitled to overtime? Who's not entitled to overtime? What are some of the anti-discrimination policies that need, and how should they be applied across the board to reduce the risks of being sued by an employee that you terminate? So a lot of the issues are preventable, which is why I want to be there earlier on for entrepreneurs and help them, not only with brand protection, but also as they start growing and hiring, to make sure that they properly classify their employees, that they understand who is exempt and not exempt from overtime, to make sure they have employee handbooks with clear policies, proper contracts for their independent contractors and vendors and employees.
Yeah. I can tell you're a professional because you're talking about stuff that I ain't even thought about. You like this, and then this, and then this. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that is important. Yeah. Let's talk about the podcast.
Let's talk about the podcast.
Yeah, so tell me, you said this is something that you've been waiting to do for a while. It's finally here. Like, how are you feeling?
I consume so many podcasts. I love listening to podcasts. And I always thought, I really would love to launch my own. There's so many interesting people out there. And what better way to really get to know them than by actually interviewing them firsthand.
Right. Yeah.
And so I never really thought about podcasting being connected to my law firm. I always thought, okay, it's going to be something separate.
Sure.
And then I thought, well, wait a second. My clients, entrepreneurs, I had meet so many amazing entrepreneurs through my network. It doesn't have to be one or the
That's
other.
Right.
And talking to my guests about, employment law issues, trademark issues. I mean, that's not the goal of the podcast, because who wants to talk about legal, for an hour? Yeah. But, those issues get kind of injected. So it becomes valuable to my target client base as well.
Sure. Yeah, where can we find it, and where can we keep up with what you're doing, and how can we support?
Okay, absolutely. So I am the founder of Carpe Diem Law Firm.
Okay.
So my website is carpediemlawfirm.com.
Okay.
On Instagram, I am Carpe Diem Lawyer, and you can find me on LinkedIn. All my social media links are on my website.
Yeah.
Again, carpediemlawfirm.com.
People call you with bad news. Should we call you to say hey sometimes? Like, is it one of those things where
Yeah, call me and say hey.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
See ya.